Hello friends, welcome back to the new video Sports Infotech, and my name is Ankit Sharma and you're watching the one and only Sports Infotech. So yes, first of all I would love to say यश कि आप हमारे शो में आए हैं and first of all really thank you so much for coming and with this show. And we have got a special member in in our house, Yash Sant. Hello Yash, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you? Okay. Thank you for
Yeah,
calling me.
Yeah, I'm also doing great. Thank you for coming into our show. So जैसे
Mhm.
कि आप सबको पता है कि स्पोर्ट्स टॉक का एपिसोड में हम लोग बात करते हैं कि अबाउट स्पोर्ट्स इंडस्ट्री के ऊपर. सो व्हाट आर द थिंग्स दैट यू नीड टू फोकस ऑन इफ यू कमिंग इनटू स्पोर्ट्स इंडस्ट्री. तो ये सब चीज़ हम लोग बात करते हैं. तो प्लीज़ आई वांट टू टेल, अगर आप सब्सक्राइब नहीं किए हैं तो प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब करके रखो स्पोर्ट्स इन्फोटेक को, बिकॉज बहुत सारा इन फ्यूचर यू विल गेट अ लॉट ऑफ वीडियोस that will surely help you a lot to become a best version of yourself into sports industry. So yes, यश विल स्टार्ट. थोड़ा सा आप इंट्रोडक्शन अपना दे दो.
So yeah, my name is Yash Sant. I'm from Pune, Maharashtra. So as of now, I'm studying my masters in sports management,
Okay.
and I've been into sports in sports for a pretty long time. Like for 20 years, I've been playing sports from roller skating
Great,
to
great.
lawn tennis. So yeah.
Wow. So yes, now tell me, you used to play sports. So which sports you used to play in your early childhood days?
So I started the very first sport which I started when I was 4 years old. I started to roller skating. So that I
Wow.
did for like 6, 7 years till I was
Hmm.
10, 11, I suppose.
Hmm.
And then later on, I was slightly getting more inclined towards lawn tennis. So mostly, if you
Great.
ask me, like I've only played two sports actually in proper nationals level. In school, actually, I did play a bit of cricket for a year, but that was just
Hmm.
for inter-school competitions what we have, right? So that was about it. But only roller skating and lawn tennis was something I went into national level.
Hmm. No, that seems to be very good because a national athlete you are of in tennis right now.
Right, in tennis. As of now, I
And
play lawn.
in tennis. And also, what was the reason you chose sports management as a serious career option? What was the reason behind that?
I mean, there was no specific. So what happened? Basically, like I
Hmm.
said, I started playing lawn tennis, and
Hmm.
slowly and gradually, also started to get inclined towards how a particular tournament gets conducted, like what goes behind the scenes and everything.
Yeah,
So whenever I didn't used to play the tournaments which were near my city or somewhere, I always used to go just to see how matches used to get conducted. Because if a match is there, like if a tournament is there for like 7, 10 days, the
yeah.
preparation
Hmm.
starts like maybe 5 to 10 days prior only.
Absolutely
So
right. Yes.
yeah,
Hmm.
so for a tournament, like for the players, it's just for a 7 day tournament, but
Hmm.
for others
Hmm.
who are working, it's actually maybe 10, 15 days work. So that was something I was always fascinated about and always curious about, like to be more precise. So I always used to go look how things
Hmm.
are going, how people are working in that field, and just I had my few coaches and everything, so I used to ask them just
Okay.
kind of helping hand, what we say. So I used to help them. So that's how I started to build interest towards the back working of any tournament or any match.
Hmm. So in starting, you used to go and see what is happening in sports management. You used to
Yeah,
witness how the management people are working behind the stage. So you
that's
used to
it.
witness that, and then practicing that also in most of the tournaments. So you got an experience that yes, I want to choose sports management as a serious career option in future.
I mean, it was something
Hmm.
like more precise, what was I say?
Yeah,
So I just, after a point, like what we say, volunteering work, right? So I
volunteering
always
work.
used
Yeah.
to ask people like if I can come for this tournament to work, and obviously they didn't used to pay me initially, but I
Hmm.
always told them I don't need to, they don't need to pay. I just want to just work in this. So obviously they always allowed me, and then slowly and gradually, like someone kind of told me that there is a field called a management aspect in sports.
Yeah.
So that's what we call sports management, right? So
Hmm.
that's what I got to know. So when I went on Google, I searched this is an actual career, actually, what people go into it. So that's what made me more go into it. So initially, I was not knowing about it, but then later on, I started to get to know more about it.
Exactly, exactly. यश वेरी वेल सेड. एंड आई जस्ट वांट टू टेल द ऑडियंस आल्सो कि जैसे कि यश अपना स्टोरी बता रहे हैं कि वो स्टार्ट किए थे टूर्नामेंट में जाकर वो देखते थे कि कैसे मैनेजमेंट वर्क होता है वहाँ पे. So he used to go there and he used to witness कि कैसे क्या करना है, कैसे मैनेजमेंट पीपल वर्क करते हैं, बिकॉज जैसे उन्होंने एक और चीज़ बोला कि प्लेयर्स लोग जब फील्ड में आते हैं तो वो सिर्फ 7 डेज के लिए 1 मंथ के लिए आते हैं जब टूर्नामेंट होता है तब, बट उसके पहले और उसके बाद जो मैनेजमेंट का जो वर्क होता है दैट इज कॉल्ड अ स्पोर्ट्स मैनेजमेंट. सो दिस इज अ लाइक वेरी गुड स्टोरी यश. एंड अगेन जो भी आप सुन रहे हैं तो आप ये भी चीज़ समझ सकते हैं यश से कि आप कोई भी इंडस्ट्री माना चाहते हैं, लाइक स्पोर्ट्स में हो या एनी ऑफ द इंडस्ट्री में, आप पहले जाकर प्रैक्टिकल देखो क्या होता है क्या नहीं होता है, आप पार्टिसिपेट करो, देन यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि यस दिस इंडस्ट्री वर्क लाइक दिस एंड मे बी आई एम आल्सो लाइक लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड कि मैं फ्यूचर बना सकता हूँ इस इंडस्ट्री में. So yes, it was a good story. Yes, like you mentioned about how you started like coming into sports industry and working in sports management like people's right.
Yeah.
So like यश, अब मेरे को आप ये बताइए कि in starting of the time में when you used to play long tennis,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
then how did you came to know about sports management, because long tennis में भी आपको focus करना होता है and also in sports management का जब कोई work होता है तो so how you used to like manage both the things like together. लॉन्ग टेनिस भी हो रहा था आपके साथ साथ, उसके साथ फिर स्पोर्ट्स मैनेजमेंट का भी अगर वर्क हुआ तो फिर वहां पे आपको जाना पड़ता था. सो व्हाट वाज लाइक गोइंग थ्रू इन योर माइंड, वो क्या स्ट्रगलिंग पीरियड था आपका?
So I was like, so when I started
हाँ.
actually like
हाँ.
volunteering work or actually started working, I
ओके.
mean, I was that time I was in college, I suppose 12th
हम्म.
grade or like first year. So I mean, when I was in 12th standard, what we say, so that time my college was being very supportive. So initially only I used to I told them that I play sports and I have to go for
Yes,
nationals.
could you just mention which college like you are from?
I like start so 11th 12th I'm from Symbiosis, and my bachelor's I did from Pune University.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Then you
So
can continue. हाँ.
so yeah, my 12th standard like with my Symbiosis college. So actually
हम्म.
I told them like I was from Symbiosis school only. So the teachers, the professors, they were all like I used to know them.
सिम्बोसिस पुणे.
Sorry,
सिम्बोसिस पुणे.
Symbiosis Pune. Yeah. So the
Okay.
schooling is from Symbiosis Pune. 11, 12th also from Symbiosis Pune. The commerce background actually,
हम्म.
and bachelor's from Pune University.
And in bachelor's, like which course you have taken, like which
So bachelor's
stream?
in commerce, BCom, like
ओके,
plain BCom.
बीकॉम. सो
Yeah.
अगेन लाइक आई वांट टू टेल ऑडियंस कि मेरे को बहुत सारा आता है क्वेश्चंस कि सर मैं बीकॉम से हूँ, मैं बीए से हूँ, बट हाउ कैन आई कम इनटू स्पोर्ट्स इंडस्ट्री. सो ये आपको यश आगे जाकर बताएंगे कि आप कैसे आ सकते हैं, एंड यू कैन आल्सो टेक इंस्पिरेशन फ्रॉम यश बिकॉज ही वाज इन लाइक ही वाज फ्रॉम commerce background in class 11 and 12, and then after also class 12 he chose bcom, and then like yash will continue. क्या हुआ फिर आगे? हाँ यश, या टेल मी.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, so from 12th standard, like I started doing the volunteering work,
Yeah.
and also I used to let my college know also like my like basic progress about like how I'm going about it. So I mean, they also had an idea that I play also, and always they supported me because like Symbiosis is a college and school, and they always supported me personally for my all my achievements and everything.
Okay, great.
So and then obviously, so one of the professors also like when I was before working as well, they also told me
Hmm.
about the sports area where I can look into it if I'm that interested into it.
In school.
So in like from college actually,
Okay,
school
okay,
is
from college.
yeah, school supported me when it comes to playing sport, but
Mm-hmm.
college also was more supportive enough in working in the sports area.
Right,
So
right, right.
that gave me a kind of a broader look into the sports world. And then
Hmm.
after that I started working into it, and then slowly and gradually like when I used to go for a bigger tournaments, like maybe something that used to come in newspapers or maybe sometimes on tvs and everything, at least the news used to flash, then at least I used to tell them that I was working behind the scenes for this particular tournament. So as a college also, like from their perspective, a student from there is representing their college, right? So that also
Hmm.
kind of they helped me into it.
Right, 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 right. Yeah, absolutely. So you can like we can conclude that college also play an important role while developing any of the teenager, like we can say, in their
Uh-huh.
upcoming exposure, like if they can work into sports industry or any of the industry. So college play an important role, as Yash mentioned. And like Yash, I want to like know one thing from you. you chose sports management, and currently you are pursuing master in sports management from Australia from Deccan University. So
Yeah,
now
that's right.
tell me the backstory. How did you came to know about Deccan University, and what are the difficulties you have faced while taking admission, and everything? You can start from the bottom only, like
So,
after your
uh,
BCom.
yeah, so after my BCom, like after my graduation exam, like I started to know, like when I got to know about the sports management area. So I always wanted to know ki where is the like best college. So initially I never looked abroad. Initially I started to,
Hmm.
because Symbiosis as well, like masters, they also
Yeah,
provide
exactly.
sports
They have.
management.
Huh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So initially, I was also considering symbiosis like for the sports management. So I used to go to the college wherever the concerned course is, and then I used to look on Google what kind of courses and subjects they are providing, and also
Hmm.
that point of time also like many of my friends as well. So they were also like they also suggested symbiosis and other in Mumbai also there is IISM I suppose.
Yes, ISM. Yeah, right, right.
Yeah. So these were two, three colleges actually I was looking. I was never planning to go abroad. But then slowly things like what we say, few of my friends also like they kind of recommended me to look at least. So even if I was not planning to go, so I started looking abroad as well. So because then I started to look at the broader perspective where they are providing much more in-depth courses, which I was maybe like for me I was not getting here. So my inclination of the
Hmm.
courses which I was getting abroad, so I got more inclined towards the abroad education. So initially I looked for England actually. I was going to
Hmm.
go to Loughborough. There's a Loughborough University, which is
Okay.
yeah, which I got to know, which is actually well known in sports.
It
So,
is
but
in UK.
it is in UK. That's right. So initially I never looked for Australia. Again, I looked for England. So Loughborough was one, and Leeds Beckett also is there. So these were the also course universities which were providing sports management courses. But like when I got to know that England actually has a aspect of 1 year masters.
Yeah.
So after that, I guess 1+2 is the criteria, I suppose, for the visa. Um, but then again, it was more for like post-COVID times. Like so, also I started to look onto other countries as well. So someone suggests. So I went through a education, like what we say, abroad education. The people who help you to get an admission, right?
Yeah, exactly. They have a kind of agency. They provide you all the details and everything, so you can
Right.
like simply book the session with them. They will guide you, and they will also offer you a lot of colleges as per your requirement.
Right. So I went through the same process. Like so, initially my friend who actually had gone to US for his another course, he suggested me to go to this education. Like they help you and everything. So I went through
Mhm.
them, and then I asked all the expenses. Then I asked them what is the
So you
course
travel
price.
to like UK or Australia?
Sorry.
You travel to UK or Australia? Like you travel like any of the country, or like you are doing this all the things from your home only?
So right now I'm just doing so. I did my first semester from DEAKIN. So I went there in Australia in Melbourne, to be more precise, Burwood. But then, so it was basically a hybrid course, basically. So right now, I'm as of now in Pune and studying the same course which I was studying back then in my first semester. So all
Okay.
the course content and everything, the degree which I'll be getting is the same thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, like, we can conclude that this is a hybrid course which you are doing from
Mm.
Australia, and also, like, you also like did research on UK university that
That's
you were
right.
like telling. Yeah, and you did not like find well about the UK sportsman
So
college.
no, so when I
Hmm.
compared UK and Australia, so UK had
Yeah.
1 year and Australia was providing 2 years of masters. And like
Okay. 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 Yes.
and the
Hmm.
subjects I was looking, so I was got more inclined towards Australia.
All right, yeah, and even though Deccan University is one of the great university, like you will witness in Australia,
Yeah.
because if I'm not wrong, like they were the sponsor of Australian cricket team, Deccan. Yeah,
Yeah.
in back to like 2 3 years ago, maybe
Yeah.
like 4 to 5 years ago. I still like not remember that, but yeah, I have seen the logos in their t-shirts and bat and everything.
Hmm.
So, in the if you're like doing the masters from Australia, if any of the people who are watching, so what you will like tell them, like how should they plan their career into sports management from Australia from Deccan University. So what are the challenges they might have to like face? So could you tell us about that thing in detail?
So the challenges are actually, it's always about getting into it, right? Because
Hmm.
they have the eligibility criteria, they have the marks criteria, are mostly more than the percentage. They also look at the sports background, like what you're into. So even if you have a good like percentage, it's fine. But if you don't have a sports background or maybe an experience, basically, of at least working in a sports area, then it becomes a very difficult job, because even though you
Hmm.
a person who is not in sports, he can still get an admission, but it's always better to have an experience, because once you get into it as well, it is what you have to more relate to what they're teaching from a sports perspective, right? So it is always better to have a sports
Hmm.
background before getting into it. So these are the
Oh.
challenges, because when I was
Hmm.
learning there, like when I finished my
Hmm.
first or second semester, there were few people who were not from the sports background. Maybe they were just, I don't know, engineers as well. So or maybe complete from a different area. But they were facing a bit difficulty from relating from a sports perspective. So it's always
Yeah,
better
exactly.
recommended to go from a sports background, at least have a year or two experience and then go for it.
Hello. Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me, Yash?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, you
So
were telling about yeah, that thing. Please continue. Hmm.
yeah, so it's the same thing. So if at all a people who wants to get into Deakin or for any sports related universities, so you better like at least have some experience in any sports, or maybe in your given sports or anything, or at least know how the management works. So you don't need to be a
Hmm.
player as such, but definitely at least you need to be in that world to at least relate to the same thing, right? Because
Hmm.
it becomes better when you're actually learning it and applying it in a practical sense.
Right, right, right. Absolutely, you are right. And even though I get a lot of comments in my YouTube section as well that, so like, tell me, we are not from any sports background. Like, we're not into any cricket academics or any football like we used to play. We don't have any sports background, but still they wanted to continue their bachelor's or master's or play PG in sports management. So this goes to all the audience who are not from sports background. Definitely you can make your career into sports industry. It's not about that you should have a sports background only. If you have that kind of a background, so it's an add-on for you. It will get you a benefit also. As Yash mentioned that you will understand the core concept of sports like more. You will like get to know about the sports industry a lot more extra. But if you don't also have, so no worry about that thing. You can simply take the admission in any of the colleges. Hmm.
And also like there is also if you have a better percentage as well, right? So like for me,
Okay.
Deakin, you can get a scholarship as well. So but again, that depends. They get 25% like off on the whole tuition fee. So kind of
All
it is
right.
again an add-on is there if at all you have a better percentage. I mean, I don't
So
know.
like the students should also have a good percentage as well.
Yeah, so you get like
Mm.
25% off on that whole tuition fee. I mean, I suppose like what I know, what I remember, is like
Mm.
they kind of consider your from your first year to your third year scores, like kind of a aggregate, like average, what we call it. So kind of they look into it, and
Okay,
that
and like Yash, tell me, so what was your total cost when you did your like currently you are also doing the from Australia only from Deccan. So what was
right.
the cost that you paid like doing the hybrid course?
So, I mean, when I was looking,
Hmm.
so the calculation which I did initially before going, I was told that you should at least have 80 to 90,000 for per month, because the rent includes, and so we can say 50 to 60,000 for rent every month,
Hmm.
and 30 to 40,000, I mean, on your cookings and daily essentials, what we call it. But again, those 30 to 40,000 can be recovered if at all you're working there. So, and also
Yeah,
sometimes the
exactly.
rent is
Hmm.
covered. So, but again, this is the only from the expense point of view I'm saying. So you can have to consider
Hmm.
80 to 90,000 per month you will have to spend there. And if
Okay.
at all you do a part-time job there, then you don't need to worry about it that much. So at least the monthly expense gets covered.
So like the per month cost would be around 90 to 80,000. And if you're
Yeah,
doing
you
the
can say,
part-time job, so you can like simply
yeah, so
get a
that
good
will
amount
get
of. salary
lesser
also while
investment. That's right.
working.
And the
Okay.
tuition fee as well, also like
Hmm.
for me, like fortunately I got the scholarship. So for me, it was like for 2 years it was 35 to 36 lakhs.
I think
So
like it's quite good because if you're traveling to like Australia, so people like usually think that it will cost around 70 to 80, but still like coming back to 35 and 40, and you also got in scholarship, so that was an add-on for you.
right. And for me, it's
Hmm.
also like the 1 lakh rupee, what we call it. So approximately, I consider 1 lakh my monthly expense. So now, when I was doing that offline, when I was there, I used to pay that amount, like almost 80, 90,000 per month. But since I've made this course online, so I mean, all you can look from a perspective like I don't have to spend 80 to 90,000 per month. So initially,
Hmm.
my expense, which we always consider 60 to 70 lakhs, it came down to 35, or maybe just the tuition fee actually.
Okay.
35
So
to 36.
like yeah, so like in starting of the like when you used to join the college, so you have traveled to Australia for a few months.
Right.
So how many months you have like lived in Australia in
So
Deccan?
3 months, I suppose, like three
Three
to
months.
4 months. Yeah, I
Okay.
guess. And then
And
obviously,
then
then
yeah,
I
please.
was actually planning to, but I suppose in month of October, like November, it's mostly summers in Australia. So
Okay.
they have summer vacation that point of time. So they do have college, but they're more like core semester starts from February and ends around October. In these
Okay.
months, the two semesters are divided. At least for my college, my university, and so there was like mostly very few subjects I was able to do for 3 to 4 months because they have kind of 2 to 3 months. The college does not function that completely, even though all the professors and all the people are still available on the campus, but still it is considered a summer vacation there. So that's the
Yeah.
reason I kind
Right.
of switched it back because I had my setup Pune and
Hmm.
Maharashtra. So I came back and decided to do it online as of now, and I can again I do
All
have an
right.
option to switch it.
Okay, so like if any of the students who wants to take admission in Deccan in Australia, so they have a option like yes, they can also switch to online or they want to continue offline. It's totally
Yeah,
it's
you
totally
can
depend
switch it
upon them.
on.
Okay.
Right. But again, it becomes a
Hmm.
criteria as well. Like you can from offline, you can switch to online, not a problem. But you need to provide more detail into it because
Yeah, exactly.
you can again turn it to offline, right?
Hmm.
Because the college might be
Hmm.
a bit concerned for that criteria because the visa issues might
Hmm.
happen.
No, no, like the I can understand from your words only like how the struggle have you have like faced in like while traveling to India to Australia and then living there on your own, like managing all the like fruit, breakfast, lunch, your uni, everything like was like so. Yeah, so you should like definitely we can say that it's all totally depend upon the interest of the people. You had that interest, yes, so that was the reason like you have put in all the efforts, and you are like doing well right now also. So yeah, that's like
Mhm.
very good to hear from you, Yash, and definitely it will also motivate a lot of students, and even the like the job persons like who wants to come into sports industry that yes, if you have a passion, if you have an interest, definitely you can come into sports industry as Yash have already did it. He was from BCom commerce background. Now coming back to sports industry, like pursuing like a sports management masters from Australia. So that was a good success story. And yes, like now tell me, bro, like since you were in Australia, so how difficulties have you felt like about rationality about that thing? Anything like you have faced while living in Australia? Because many of the students, if they want, if they are like going into Australia, so they have a kind of a tension in their mind.
So yeah, I mean, for
Hmm,
me, like, there were obviously
hmm,
issues
hmm.
that we face as Indians as well, at least, where
Yeah,
we
exactly.
always used to,
Hmm,
even if seeing people around, being around
hmm.
at least a group of people, like even though introverts as well, like I understand people they don't talk to
Okay.
people, but at least they are
Hmm,
able to see people around, right? So that sometimes happens, at least with me, when it comes to Australia, where uh, like I was in
hmm.
Burwood basically. It was kind of outskirt of Melbourne, I suppose. So
Okay.
initially, the whole aspect becomes a problematic where you'll see less of people. You'll always miss your people around your home. And the challenges as well is also like you have to do your own, cooking, groceries and everything. So you have
Exactly
to
right.
always like what we call it
Hmm.
pre-plan. So you always need to have a pre-plan
Hmm.
about
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
So you need to go out of the house, out of your, room or something to get the grocery maybe a hour prior before you have to have a dinner or lunch. And also you
Hmm.
have your study routine also set up because you can't even miss that up because you have a lot of assignments as well because and they are very strict with the assignments so they don't allow like at the very rarest occasion they allow their extension but at the same time like if you miss the deadline then obviously 5 to 10% marks gets deducted and every passing day that the same person comes down and down so they are very strict when it comes to assignments
Oh
so
my
again you
God.
have to pre-plan things.
So when you used to like right now also like you're studying, so in DEAKIN like they provide you a lot of assignment works in between the week or a weekend like that.
Yeah, they always make sure so every like so you can like the criteria of one deacon is like can
Hmm.
maximum you can take 4 subjects. So
Okay.
beyond 4 they don't allow at this that particular trimester. And for again, so basically for 4 semester you get an assignment. So I'll say every week on an average every week you have one assignment submission
Hmm.
for sure, and you have to do it
Okay.
within the criteria. So it depends how tough the subject is and how you're able to manage your time as well, right?
So what
So
are the
that al-
subjects like currently you're having? Like if you remember like any of the names?
right like in my first semester I had like what we call accounts, financials of it.
Okay.
Then basic
Hmm.
introduction of Australian sports, how the Australian sports work,
Wow. Hmm.
and then we I had sports marketing, and in general I had a sports behavior like how an
Okay.
organization behaves,
Hmm.
small scale and from a large scale perspective as well. Then
Hmm.
recently I just had sports law, and there was also like couple sports economics was also there. So these were the subjects like total I finished actually nine, and I mean I just remember 5 or 6 of them. So, but these are
Okay.
the subjects
Huh,
that,
huh.
like I said, every subject will have, so they'll have 2 to 3 assignments in that particular semester, and
Hmm.
every week you have some or the other submissions. So you kind of have to
Okay.
plan it, and you cannot go beyond the deadline. That's what I said before.
If you're like also pursuing offline, so you have to give the assignment on deadline, no,
On
no matter
deadline,
what.
no matter
Oh,
what. So you can always ask for an extension, but you
yeah,
that
yeah,
has
yeah.
to be a genuine reason that why do you need that extension, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah, you are right.
Right, yeah. But even
Hmm.
if you ask for an
Hmm.
extension, that doesn't mean that the other assignment which is going to come up next week, you'll get an extension with that.
No,
That
no,
will be
no,
a
no. Like
same
they're
day.
like very strict with their
Yeah,
assignment and homeworks.
that's right. That is something
And
people like I still struggle with. So even
oh my
after
god.
1 year, I still struggle with that.
Oh
But
my god.
you are in
Yeah.
it, you have to do things.
And now tell me like how are the professors in Australia in Deakin University? How are
Um,
they like? Are they like motivate you? Are they support you or not? Because like there's a lot of misconception that like people from like abroad only like I have listened to all my like subscriber only. They used to say they don't know how to like respect and like students and all. So what is the like story behind that? Like could you tell us in detail?
so till now, whatever
How
the
is the
professors
relation with the
I had,
professors? Yeah. Hmm.
so it was, I mean, none of them were like strict. They were always helping.
Wow.
And the main
Hmm.
problem, actually, I'll just let you know as well that our
Yeah, sure.
education system
Hmm.
and the Australian education system, it becomes a bit of it's really different. So you always like when I shifted there, I had a basic question that how should I do it? But for people who are
Hmm.
studying
Yes.
in Australia or maybe people from other countries, the research work, what we call it, the referencing
Hmm.
aspect of it. So I had very basic questions. So I always used to ask my professors, and like maybe they used to tell me the answers, but sometimes I didn't used to get the proper answer as well. So it was like
Hmm.
maybe they're telling me a simple stuff, but I was not able to understand. But I kept asking them, and they always like gave me the answer from a proper understanding perspective and told me how it should be
Great.
done. So the
Like
professors are really helpful.
hmm.
So you just
They're
have to
like
take
very
a.
nice. Yeah. Hmm.
So they are really
So
helpful in
like
that sense.
if any of the students are facing any difficulties while in the class also, while in the in project also, though the professors are ready to help them.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they're really very small. So there also sometimes also that happens that maybe you are falling behind your grades and everything. So they will try to give sometimes a professor of mine also like he tried to help me extra like apart from the lecture as well. So initially I was struggling with one of the subjects, so he tried to help me with that as well. So they
Great,
will
great.
definitely go out of the way and help you out to get a good grade and everything. So that will they definitely do.
Hmm.
I experience everyone can.
सो यस जैसे कि आप सब सुन रहे हैं कि यश बता रहे हैं कि अपना स्टोरी विद द प्रोफेसर्स लाइक हाउ दे यूज्ड टू हेल्प यश इवन दो आफ्टर क्लासेस भी हो जाता था ओवर सो इफ यश हैव एनी ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम्स लाइक ऑफ एनी ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट लाइक एग्जांपल स्पोर्ट्स मार्केटिंग so he used to go and ask the professors like how like this works and all so professor used to help them a lot after the class also so वही चीज़ मैं बताऊंगा आपको कि अगर आप सोच रहे हैं कि कुछ मतलब कि टीचर्स का बिहेवियर सही नहीं होता है या कुछ मतलब कुछ भी आपको जो माइंड में है तो वैसा एकदम नहीं है यश अभी स्टूडेंट है फ्रॉम टेक्न यूनिवर्सिटी एंड ही इज टेलिंग द ट्रू स्टोरी विच ही वाज फीलिंग लाइक जो लाइक इन कॉलेज में रहकर सो यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि ऐसा कुछ नहीं है आप बिल्कुल इजीली कुछ भी आपका क्वेश्चन है डाउट है आप बिल्कुल आराम से पूछ सकते हैं अपने प्रोफेसर से and Yash, I wanted to like know. So, how's the internship and placement opportunity in Deccan University?
So they, what I know, they don't provide a placement as such, but yeah, they
Okay.
definitely have a portal where, you can register yourself into to get job opportunities. So
Hmm.
they kind of don't like give you a direct, what we say, job, but they kind of provide a platform where you can apply for jobs. So that is something what people who or students who want to go there, they can look into it, and maybe, or maybe you don't have to also directly go through your university if you feel like you yourself can do it on your own and ask for jobs when you go anywhere, like in
Hmm.
Australia, then you can definitely do that. So internships they provide as well. There are a unit. There is also one unit where, what I know is that the unit is specifically based on internship aspect of it. So you'll get a credit
Okay.
scoring if you do that internship. I'm not sure which of the what's the name of the unit, but if you
Hmm.
go on the
Hmm.
DEAKIN website, sports management course curricular. So that there you can see all the units and the eligibility criteria and everything.
Hmm.
That is something you will do. And in the end, also like if you go out and ask for jobs in general, you
Hmm.
will get it. Because as of now, what I know, Melbourne, at least in Melbourne, I was in Melbourne, so there's ample of job opportunities as well.
Great. Yeah, in Australia, like no doubt, they have a very good they have a very good varieties of sports, starting
Yeah,
from cricket, like any sports you can say. So definitely, if any of the person like who is pursuing from Australia, they would like definitely get a job because
yeah.
that also goes on the experience also. What the experience like they have done. So that is also a criteria and how the person is in their classroom, like how he is like she is behaving in front of the teachers. That personality also matters a lot, as I think like in sports industry. So because if you are like very sincere to your work, if you are like very passionate about your work, so people will notice you and definitely you will get a chance. Uh, isn't it like Yash?
Yeah,
The
I mean,
statement.
you always have to show up,
Hmm.
like what we say. I understand in the end, like we have a mentality, like we'll go there, we'll work, and we'll earn in dollars, and see that's all fine. Finance is always right. You
Hmm.
always want to consider money. At the same point, you always have to portray a positive image of good personality. That
Hmm.
even though you are working from a money perspective, but also that should not be also on the top of the list every time. Sometimes
Exactly.
it does, because obviously everyone does work for money in the end sometimes. But also like
Hmm.
always portray that you are going to make the whatever work you're doing, you actually want to do it as well. Like even if just the money criteria is there in the mind, then you'll do it for a month or two, but then you might get fired or you will only eventually leave the job. And that's what we don't want, right?
Hmm.
So
Right.
that's also something. So your personality also matters, how you look at that job. So
And how you behave with the people, how you respond to them, how you communicate with the people, like with strangers a lot. So and also like tell me, Yash. So why like how the connection is important into sports industry? Like connection word, if you heard of, like any of the people are like telling into sports industry. So what do you feel like about this word connection in sports industry, and how is it
so
important?
So for me as well, like so when I came back from Australia here, I worked in like Cricket World Cup also, and I worked for like Pro
Great.
Kabaddi as well. So for that, for those, so pro kabaddi has something like we all know. We have all like Indians, we know it. But like for me, I actually haven't like
Mhm.
the pro kabaddi league. What always happens, I haven't seen. So I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
no idea about what kind of exactly the sport is. Basically, I had how the points are scored. So when we say about the connection aspect of it, you always, it does not matter how much you know, matters how much you care at times. So it always matters like what you're always curious about that sports, you know, sports match or sports tournament for that matter.
Hmm.
So you kind of have to go more into it, like what happens next and what will make the whole environment better. So in that, if you
Right,
feel
right.
if you
Absolutely.
show your connection from that area, the how can you make the people who are playing it also people you're watching? Because when you say sports industry, only the players are not important, but the audience is also important, and that's what actually
Absolutely
what
right.
sports
Yes.
management is, right?
Very well said. Right. Right.
So that's what you have to. How can you make
Hmm.
the experience of the spectators better, or how you can make give provisions to them accordingly. So in that aspect, if you show
Hmm.
the connection aspect, you'll feel it. You'll automatically work
Right, right.
towards.
Hmm. And also, like when you spend some good times with the like with your teammates in like while working in internship or any of the like full time work, so you get to know about them. Also, you share the feelings also, and definitely you will also get a good bonding together to work in more of the future events. So
Yeah, that's
connection
right.
is like important. Like it's very important. Like no doubt. Yes, you said in a very
Yeah.
good way. It's very
What I
important
also
though.
learned through Deacon as well, it was so something
Hmm.
like does not matter like how much percent when you get into sport, the networking is something you have to do it. So I don't think so.
Exactly that.
Yeah,
Networking word. Right. Right. Right.
networking
Network.
is one there because it
Hmm.
doesn't matter whether you're in India or in Australia. Networking is something you have to do on your own because you can't just say that any person will take you anywhere, right? So you always
एब्सोल्युटली
have
एंड
to.
इवन दो जैसे मैं समझाता हूँ यश कि हमारे ऑडियंस को कि अगर आप कोई भी स्पोर्ट्स लाइक वॉलंटियरिंग कर रहे हो, सपोज इन आईपीएल, प्रो कबड्डी, आईसीसी, कहीं पे भी आप कर रहे हो या कोई छोटे लीग्स में कर रहे हो, so you are the only responsible person that if you see any of the owners of their franchise or any of the good person like who is doing well into sport industry, you are responsible that you will go straight forward to them and just tell your like not the problems, but you can also introduce yourself like I'm like my name is Ankit Sharma, like I'm pursuing sports management. So sir, like I would like you just give them a compliment and just try to engage with them, because if you will engage with them now, so what will happen, like they have a kind of a good story with you and it might help you in future. So yeah, I like keep telling them, my audience, like you can use this kind of a trick.
Yeah, I mean that is actually important because sometimes we
Yeah.
also have a fear on the back foot that how
Hmm.
can I go and talk? Just go and maybe out
No,
of 10 people
absolutely.
will ignore you,
Hmm.
but the other seven
Hmm.
maybe they will
Hmm.
always respond positively, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Like very well said. And like Yash, now tell me, since how many like internship or like full time work you have done in India?
So right now, I mean, when internship was something, so the Cricket World Cup which happened in Pune,
Great,
so
great,
there
great.
were five matches
Super.
that happened in Pune. So I was working actually. I was not doing an intern. So for
Mm-hmm.
Pro Kabaddi League as well, I was working there for that. I mean, the event was of 7 8 days in Pune, I suppose. So for
Wow.
that as
So
well, I
you
was
have a
working.
got. Mhm. So such a good experience, because working in ICC World Cup and then like straight coming back to Pro Kabaddi. So how was the like experience while working there? Because you also met a lot of good peoples, good you have connected with the good peoples, good networking. So how was the like you tell me in short?
So I mean, Cricket World Cup was like, I mean, I don't think so. I will ever forget that because there was
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I mean, apart
mm-hmm.
from the fact that it is ICC Cricket World Cup, the back office,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
always say.
Uh,
So I remember working for almost like what, and I didn't
hmm.
used to sleep for like there were like 48 hours I was working continuously. There was
Oh
one
my
day,
God, yes.
yeah, I mean we did not have a sleep. So I guess I went there
Oh my
11 a.m.
God.
and then I came back the next day, I suppose, at my place, and
Hmm,
that too
hmm,
also
hmm,
just for like
hmm,
20
hmm.
25 minutes, just to
Oh
like
my God.
just to take what do we say, just get ready and everything because at the same day, the first match was going to
Uh,
happen, and the very first match important for any sports industry. And
Hmm.
on top of that, first matchup was of India only. You know, so the whole
Great, yeah,
problem was,
great.
yeah. So like 36 to 48 hours, we did not get any sleep. But now that I look back into it, obviously it was a great
Hmm.
time. At the time,
So
I was
like
not even,
you
but
were like
I
only
know.
so like yeah, like you were working only in one particular like stadium, or like you used to like travel with in all over the stadium.
No, I mean, in Pune, I was there. I did not go for other cities, but in
Okay,
Pune,
okay, okay, okay.
yeah, I was looking
Hmm.
into the. I mean, I was from MCA. I was the logistic manager there,
Oh
and
wow, wow, wow. Great.
yeah. So and then also like after the
Hmm.
logistics work was done, you always end up doing some other work as well. You're not only designated to one work, because once you're logistic, like for me, my logistic work was done. I always end up getting into some another field, like maybe audience or maybe the player engagement aspect of it. So so the work does not stop. Like even though the matches
Hmm.
stopped, we still used to stay after match for 3 4 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the reality of the sports management student life.
Yeah.
No, yeah, like absolutely, yes. ये सब चीज काफी in point हो जाता है. Even though same when I used to work in ICC also. So even though मेरा भी same था, you used to work in Pune and I used to work in Calcutta.
Oh, that's
So I, yeah, so everything was like quite
so
similar.
you
Just
also
coming
know
back
better
home.
like how that works.
Yeah, bro. Like just coming back home for a few minutes and then just leaving for the stadium. It just
Yeah,
used to
exactly.
happen like that. But it was a good opportunity as well, because working in the great league which comes after 5 years in India.
Right.
So we were like lucky to host this event, and you also worked. We like I also worked, and many of the people who has worked, like yeah, it
Uh-huh.
seemed to be like very like great opportunity.
Uh-huh.
Hmm. And like now, Yash. So it was a good conversation, like first of all, because whatever you have explained about sports industry, you have also explained about you have the work experience in ICC in pro kabaddi. Then you have talked about the Deccan University placement internship and how the people can work into Australia also, like if they want to continue their like job in Australia. So you have explained all the thing. Really, like
Uh-huh.
it means a lot to us, and I hope that the one who is listening this podcast, so they will surely understand about the sports concept in India as well as in Australia. Because if you're planning to visit to Australia or any of the country, UK, Scotland, any of the countries, so you can definitely like watch this podcast. And I hope कि आपको ये काफी video अच्छा लगा होगा. So Lely, thank you so much, Yash, for staying up with us in this superb live
Thank
session with
you.
you.
It was really great for me as well.
And definitely if any of the queries if our like students would be asking in the comment section, so like we would love if you can like answer them.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah, and anything like yes, you want to like conclude about this conversation, you want to like say anything to like audience.
The first thing about like to the audience, like I would like to say, like even though like even not from a sports background, get into it, just get to know
Mhm.
it, and like don't be on a back foot, and always make sure to talk to people and just get into it. Like even if for sports or for any other field, because networking is something which I've heard that term very like every day in my life. It always said that your
Hmm.
network is your net worth type. So that's the same thing that goes
Hmm.
for each and every sector. And like, when it comes to this podcast, I mean, I really like to have this conversation because I kind of had a flashback
Hmm.
about how
Yeah.
my last year went.
Hmm.
So thanks for asking me such questions. So it was really great for
Yeah,
me.
and like we are so grateful because we would love to like ask our guests to come into this sports podcast, and we try to like elaborate the like sports industry in detail while having a conversation with our guests. So yeah, it was a good conversation altogether. It was a motivated conversation a lot, I can say.
I hope I motivated them. That's not good. That's not good.
Yeah, yeah, and definitely I would like just like sure that any of the students who are like wanting to come into sports industry, they will like surely like right now they would be like so charged up कि नहीं मेरे को
Yeah,
स्पोर्ट्स इंडस्ट्री में ही आना है अभी.
yeah.
So like yeah, thank you so much Yash for staying with us, and we'll
Thank
call
you.
you in some other episode also in
Definitely.
future.
Yeah, yeah, would love to come for sure.
Yeah, good luck Yash. Thank
Good.
you, thank you. Hmm.
Thank you.
So yes, it was a good conversation altogether. हम लोग ने बात किया यश संत के साथ, जो अभी पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं फ्रॉम डेकिन यूनिवर्सिटी ऑस्ट्रेलिया से। उन्होंने बताया अपना जर्नी कि वो इंडिया से कैसे ट्रैवल किया ऑस्ट्रेलिया, और क्या वहाँ पे दिक्कत उनको हुआ, और अगर कॉलेज वो डिसाइड किए तो क्या-क्या चीज़ का उनको ध्यान रखना पड़ा, कैसे एडमिशन हुआ, क्या स्कॉलरशिप मिला, वहाँ पे कैसे वो हॉस्टल देखे, क्या पार्ट टाइम जॉब करना पड़ा, तो सब कुछ वो बताएँ इस पॉडकास्ट में। एंड आई होप कि आपको ये वीडियो काफ़ी अच्छा लगा होगा। अगर आपको ये अच्छा लगा, प्लीज़ लाइक, शेयर, सब्सक्राइब करिए, बिकॉज़ बहुत सारे इंपॉर्टेंट वीडियोज़ विल गेट इन स्पोर्ट्स इन्फोटेक, जो आपको हेल्प करता है टू बिकम बेस्ट वर्जन ऑफ योरसेल्फ इन द स्पोर्ट्स इंडस्ट्री। And also, I would like love if you are coming to sports industry, watch our sports podcast, sports talk का जो पॉडकास्ट है, प्लीज देखिए और सब्सक्राइब करिए, शेयर करिए, एंड शेयर करिए यार दोस्तों के साथ अपना, बहुत आपको हेल्प होगा। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर कमिंग टू दिस live session, and thank you so much the audience who like really listened up to this. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next live session. Tap tap, please stay blessed, stay happy, and keep following Sports Infotech. Thank you.